Oh, yes, started.
Yep.
Okay, yeah, so now it's time to start. So, hello everyone. Thank you very much for your participation in our webinar today. My name is Satoshi Takayama. I'm one of the co-founder of our company, Fenetre Partners. And I'm also the advisor for the industrial sector in Japanese market. And here is another co-founder and the managing director, Yasushi Hasegawa. After I introduce our company, he will do the main part of today's presentation. And the topic of today's webinar is digital marketing and lead generation in Japan. But before we start our webinar, I'd like to let you know one thing. At the bottom of this Zoom screen, you can find Q&A panel, question and answer panel. And during our presentation, if you have any questions about our presentations or Japanese business in general, please use this Q&A panel to ask your questions. Then we will answer to your questions during the presentation or at the last part of the presentation. Also, if you have questions about specific industry or about your company's business in Japan, please contact us by sending email to reserve a separate online meeting with us. You can find Yasushi's email address in the invitation email of this webinar. It is hasegawa at fenetre.co.jp. I will write his email address later in the chat box. And we are happy to answer to your questions and support your business in the Japanese market in the future. Also, after the webinar, if you'd like to have a presentation material, please send an email message to Yasushi, then he will send it to you later. Okay. Oh, thank you, Hasegawa-san. Then, so this is today's agenda. So today Yasushi will explain, is digital marketing best solution for you? Is a Japanese website must? How to appear on the first page on the search result? How to convert leads into prospects? Case studies, small start, and Q&A. Okay, then, yes, thank you. Then with this page, I'd like to introduce our company briefly. Our company, Fenetro Partners, is one of the leading consulting firms of trade, investment, and international marketing. We are based in Tokyo. Our clients are medium to large size of companies, mainly from the US and Europe. We also have many clients of overseas governmental organizations to support their trade missions and foreign direct investment. The main scope of our service is market entry support to enter into Japan, but not only by market researches or consulting, but by implementation. And this implementation means, for example, business development and lead generation. And this is our company's strength. What we mainly do is this implementation. It's sales and marketing activities locally in Japan on behalf of our clients. So we work as if we are your local Japanese branch office. We currently have 32 staff and we have worked on over more than 500 international projects since our company was established 18 years ago. And this page shows logos of past and current clients. As explained earlier, we have clients of mainly from Europe and American manufacturing companies and also governmental organizations. Industries of our clients are mainly industrial machinery, components, automotive. And we also have customers in the consumer sectors as well. And from next page, my colleague Yasushi will explain the main topic of today's presentation. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Takayama-san, for your introduction. Hello, everyone. I'm Yasushi Hasegawa, another co-founder and managing director of Fenetre Partners. which is a service provider focusing on market entry into Japan and also business development in Japan. Today, uh, I'm happy to share our knowledge and experiences in digital marketing and lead generation activities in Japan. So, uh, actually, last week, uh, we organized a webinar, which title is How to Develop Japanese Customers. But in many cases, foreign companies face the problem at the beginning of business development. So lead generation is key for your success in Japan. So I'd like to start the session is digital marketing best solution for you because there are wide range of uh, different approaches of generating leads on digital and in person also. So let me explain this session and probably you can get the feeling how you focus on lead generation or you should not, or what kind of lead generation activities you should choose. So at the first slide, uh, I'd like to share some economic environment of Japan because the business environment in Japan is very different from other growing markets in Asia. So there are a lot of figures which highlight how Japan is. So population is still big. However, we are losing 800,000 people every year. So almost 1 million people are disappearing from my country. And GDP is still big as a single country, but last year, Germany has overtaken Japan. Now, Japan is ranked number four. And people say India will take over Japan this year or next year. So Japan will be the world number five. And GDP growth rate is high, but it was made by the inflation mainly. So actual growth rate is roughly 1% or less. And now I'm telling you some shocking figures. The first one is the GDP per capita. Uh, in the past, like early this century, Japan was ranked world number two. But now Japan is ranked world number 38th in the same group with South Korea or Spain. So Japan is not a rich country any longer. And uh, Japan is the second oldest country in terms of the median age, next to Luxembourg. So this is a reality. Uh, Japan is getting poorer and older. So however, I have to say, if you are selling to the manufacturers, Japan still has a lot of good potential customers for you. However, if you are selling consumer products, I don't recommend Japan because of this kind of economic situation. That's why today's webinar focuses on B2B lead generation. So this is our the framework to explain how the economic development stage of Japan is. So in 1960s, 70s, 80s, Japan's on the growing stage. And in 1990s, it hit the ceiling and now almost no growth. So in the growing stage, many customers are growing and many suppliers are entering the market. So the market situation was very dynamic. So things are changing every year. However, after the ceiling, usually the market has been almost fixed, including the market share. Usually the market is dominated by several strong players, which is called oligopoly. So now the most of the sectors in Japan are classified into this oligopoly or very mature stage. So in such stage, it's very difficult to, make a change in the market share. Of course, it's not easy for a new market entrant to be successful in the mature market. So now, Japanese economy is very mature or saturated, and the market structure has been almost fixed. Sometimes it's very exclusive supply chain can be found. And in addition to that, the business culture here is super conservative and risk averse. So usually, when we talk to a Japanese company or make an inquiry, they ignore. So they don't disclose any contact information to a stranger. So it's really difficult to get the contact information of a right person for your business. So, and usually, Japanese companies prefer working together with a Japanese supplier for decades. Uh, I know it's somewhat similar in Germany, where people are long-term oriented. But in some markets like US, China, India, people switch supplier. This time I take this, next time I'll take this. So it's normal in such a markets. But in Japan, people hesitate changing suppliers, especially they have decades of history working together with a particular supplier. In that case, having a technical communication with a new foreign supplier is just a burden for them. So that's why they usually hesitate to meet with a new foreign supplier. So when you do business development in Japan, the most difficult part is here, prospecting, lead generation. Once you get the contact with the right person, I think it's not easy. It's not difficult for you as far as your product is somewhat advanced or very unique. So you can proceed the sales discussion with a Japanese customer. Of course, culturally, it takes a longer time compared with American or European customers, but it can go smoothly. So this part, lead generation, is the most difficult part of your marketing and sales. Then you need to think about how to generate leads. So you have basically two options, push marketing and pull marketing. Push marketing means you approach your potential customers by phone call, email, make an inquiry on their website, personal network, booth visit at the trade show. This requires time or labor costs because you need to spend a lot of time for doing this. Another option is pull marketing. So you attract your potential customers through ads, show events, websites. So it doesn't require the huge labor costs, but you need to pay some costs for ads or events. So basically, you have two options. And usually you combine those activities. However, depending on some parameter, I recommend you focus on either. So let me give you some case studies. The first case is about a European company which provides IoT healthcare solution with digital medical service. They've been successful in America and Europe, and now they are seeking the opportunity in Japan. So in this case, which do you choose? Push marketing or pull marketing? Uh, the answer is push marketing for this case because their target companies are international marine transportation companies. There are a lot of marine transportation companies here in Japan, but only several companies are operating internationally. So their main targets are just 4 to 5 companies. In that case, digital marketing is too much. Probably contacting those 4 to 5 companies will be good enough for evaluating the marketability in Japan. Of course, it's not easy to get a contact with the right person in such a big international marine transportation companies. That's why, in this case, I recommend you join the trade show and have your own booth. At the same time, you purchase a speaking session because this solution sounds very innovative. So I think uh, if you have a chance to present in front of the audience, probably there are some people from your target organization because 4 to 5 big marine transportation companies have tens of thousands of employees. Probably if you have 100 audience, I think 5 to 10 people are from those companies. So if the number of your target companies here is very small, I recommend you choose push marketing. And in their case study too, uh, so this company is providing a packaging machine to food sector, and they are successful outside Japan. And can you guess which is appropriate for this case? Actually, the number of food factories in Japan is tens of thousands or 100,000, I don't know. But so simply, you cannot visit all the factories. So in this case, obviously, pre-marketing is better in terms of return on investment. So when you think about lead generation activities for Japan, please consider how many target companies you have in Japan. So the conclusion could be made semi-automatically. So this is my advice. That's why if you have only 3 target organizations in Japan, probably this webinar would be waste of your time. So you should talk to 3 companies in their push marketing. However, if you have tens of hundreds of target organizations here, only push marketing does make sense. Probably you need to combine push and pull at least. So from this session, I would like to explain about digital marketing in Japan. When we talk about digital marketing in Japan, this is the first discussion. Your website in Japanese. So probably all of you guys know most Japanese don't speak and don't read English. Actually, some can read, but they don't like reading English. So definitely, you need a website in Japanese. And there are some options. I think this is the best one. Probably you have a multilingual website, including English, German, Chinese, maybe Spanish. So you add Japanese language on your original website. However, it requires a decent level of investment. I don't know how much you need to pay, but it could be tens of thousands US dollar or more. And your digital marketing staff is very busy with other things. So probably this idea wouldn't be allowed in your organization. The second option is auto-translated website. So this is a very controversial. I know nowadays auto translation among European languages is quite good. So sometimes I translate a German web page into English. So the quality looks very high. However, translation between Japanese and European languages is not good usually, especially for short term or short sentences like catch copy or title of some web page. It can be sometimes very funny. So, and partly you can use auto translation when you develop a Japanese website, but full auto translation is not recommended. your website looks very funny. So it's not good in the B2B business. And option three is a separate small Japanese website. Actually, this is my recommendation. I'll explain the reason later, but as far as I know, it's the easiest way to start the digital marketing in Japan. And option four, actually, it depends on what kind of distributor you work together. Uh, Usually, in a traditional industry like machinery or components, local distributors don't have strong capability of digital marketing. So you have to be lucky if your distributor has such kind of capability. If so, you can ask them to develop a good web page focusing on your products. However, many distributors sell tens of or sometimes hundreds of different brands or products. Usually, it doesn't make sense for them to develop a good web page only for your product because your product is one of 100 or more. So this is the reason why I recommend small separate Japanese websites. This is a conflict I've seen in many mid-sized companies in North America and Europe. So this is a conflict between sales manager and marketing manager. Usually, sales manager starts, do we have a plan for Japanese website? No, we are busy with North America and Europe. But the sales manager want a website in Japanese because she is responsible for the Japanese market. But usually, marketing manager is busy. We are very busy, no resource for Japan. And by the way, how much sales do you expect from Japan? Usually, the sales from Japan is less than 10% or less than 5% of your whole global sales. And you will say, okay, can we make a small Japanese website separately? Usually, marketing manager responds, no, from the branding standpoint, we are not able to do that. So this is a typical conflict I've seen in mid-sized companies in North America and Europe. Probably many of you guys agree with the situation, but don't worry, you are not the only one victim in this world. If you talk to 100 companies, well, I think 95 companies have the very similar situation. So now I'm giving you the advice how to convince marketing manager or your management team. So usually I recommend to use the term test marketing and temporarily. So from the branding perspective, maybe developing a small separate website is not a good idea. However, you can say it's just for test marketing to evaluate the response from the Japanese potential customers. So through the test marketing, if we if you secure some good responses, you can convince your marketing team, let's allocate more budget on Japan. So finally, you can include the Japanese language in your original website. So otherwise, you cannot convince your management team or um, digital marketing guys. So please take this idea. Let's start. Let's make a small start as a test marketing of digital marketing in Japan. So then, this is my recommendation: how to start your small website in Japanese. So I recommend you take a .jp address. If so, co.jp address, it requires some, processes when you purchase. So I recommend simple your company name .jp and set up WordPress and use existing template. And you don't need to copy all the information on your website. You pick up some important information from your Japanese presentation or brochure and put in a WordPress. And you should not update all the original articles into Japanese, you can pick up some important things and set the link with the original English page. I think it's good enough. And I recommend you ask your local distributor to arrange those things or third parties, like a consulting firm like us, because hiring a digital marketing consulting firm in your home country is usually very expensive. For example, if you hire a digital marketing in Switzerland, probably you need to 10 times higher than the case you pay to us. So I recommend you talk to local potential partners. And when you start developing your Japanese website, this is important. You focus on lead generation first. Actually, and in the process of developing a Japanese website, many people say a lot of things about branding or something, but you should forget about that because it requires a lot of time and cost. So focusing on lead generation is a good idea at this stage. And if someone say something, you can say it's just a temporary one for this marketing. Later on you can do anything. So at the beginning of digital marketing, this is the most important aspect. Be agile, be smart. So now you've developed a small Japanese website. Then what you have to do is SEO or SEM because if your products don't exist on the Google search result, which means your products don't exist in Japan. So this is some data from a research company. Nowadays, it's in 2021, it's somewhat old, but it shows some trend. Nowadays, decision makers in manufacturers see search engine, online media, and sometimes event and trade shows. So especially nowadays, you know, if customers want to have some information about their kind suppliers, of course they make a phone call to a salesperson of that supplier. However, if they want to seek new solutions, usually they use search engine. And also they search with related keywords in some online media or B2B database websites. And this is our market share of search engine in Japan. It's somewhat old, but I think it hasn't changed. Usually people use Google. Probably the market share of Google has increased. So if you do the test marketing, please ignore other search engines. If you make your success on Google, then you can think about other platforms. So this is a recommendation. Please try this to understand your position in the Japanese digital market. So you translate your important keywords into Japanese, like if you sell industrial pumps, uh, the Japanese is Sangyoyo pump. So it can be easily translated in Google and then enter those keywords on Google. And then check the first page of search results. Can you find your products there? If not, how about your distributor? No? And the same time, you can find some industrial media or database. Probably this is a sample search result with a keyword industrial pump. You can find some EC site or, yeah, sometimes you can find a famous database site here. So it doesn't give you a precise analysis, but you can get the overview of the competition in the digital world of Japan. And then I'd like to explain the difference between SEO and SEM. If you are a marketing guy or digital marketing guy, Of course, you know this, but I believe some of participants are from sales department. And that's why I need to explain the very basic background between SEO and SEM. Search engine optimization is you know, the organic way to show your website with the relevant keywords on the Google search result. So it doesn't require ads costs, but the logic of making the ranking among websites of Google is in the black box. So nobody knows how to do it. So that's why this is a sort of series of practices or experiments. So it takes a lot of time. Sometimes you need to spend half a year or a year, and nobody knows the outcome because the logic is in the black box. However, if you are successful in SEO, it's good. It's the best situation because your company websites are shown up automatically. So it gives a better credibility and it doesn't require additional costs. So I think this is the best situation. However, when you do test marketing, though these factors are not good. So while SEM provides immediate results and measurable ROI, so SEM means you set some ads on Google with related keywords, and you can set the uh, price per click. It's a bidding system. So that's why you can control your budget and click rates. So of course, there are disadvantages. If you heavily advertise, you have to pay a lot. And nowadays, with some keywords, a lot of too much ads are shown. So it is called ad fatigue. So people don't click those ads. However, as far as I know, with specific industrial keywords, there are less advertisements on Google, maybe one or zero. So that's why I recommend SEM at the beginning. So you can get the response immediately, maybe in a few weeks, and you can make some adjustment to change the keywords or change the ads. And finally, you can analyze the marketability of Japan. So when you talk to a digital marketing manager or a management team, again, you should use these keywords, test marketing, and you should choose Google only. And after you found high-performing keywords on Google, you can use those keywords for SEM as well. Oh, sorry, SEO as well. So you start with SEM, then you can find the good performing keywords, and then finally, you can set those keywords for SEO in the future. I believe this is a very practical approach. And also, again, some online media and B2B database websites are very famous in Japan. And yes, I think Ipros is the most famous database website. So you can upload your product listing free of charge. However, there are a lot of similar products, and your products wouldn't be shown at the top of the search result in such B2B database website. That's why I recommend you pay small fees for particular services, like a few weeks campaign. You put some ads on such results. So usually it requires hundreds or 1,000 US dollar, I think. So I think it's worth to try. Uh, in a good case, you can get some leads through such a small investment. And also I recommend also you check the who are there in those database site. Probably your competitors are there. So in that case, you have to be there again. So this is the way how to start your test marketing of digital marketing in Japan. Set up a small Japanese website and spend a small amount of money on Google Ads. Some of our clients just spent 200 to 300 US dollar per month and got some inquiries like uh, like 10 serious inquiries a year. And then now you have to consider how to convert the leads into prospects and finally customers. So usually I recommend you hire someone, your distributor, agent, or service provider like us, and because Japanese customers who made an inquiry to your website expect Japanese salesperson contact them. So if they receive an English following up email, they'll get surprised. So that should be done in the Japanese language. It's a must. And nowadays, online meeting has been very popular here in Japan. Especially your customers are outside Tokyo. It's normal to give them an offer of online meeting for first round meeting nowadays. And usually Japanese business people require a lot of information. So, and they don't value speaking blah, blah, blah. So, usually you are required to put all the information in documents in Japanese. So, you need to be well prepared when you start this kind of lead generation activities. Then, after the first round meetings, probably your local staff should visit the prospects' factories or R&D center with product sample, test kits, or data, or any. So, those are the basic of following up leads in Japan. And this is a typical sales process in Japan. It's somewhat difficult or somewhat different from open and flexible country. Uh, in Japan, again, you need to pass a gatekeeper and junior level. So it's a really energy consuming. Uh, it takes a lot of time to reach a right person sometimes. And so in some open and flexible country, probably it's easy to arrange a first round meeting because people are open. Okay, let's talk. So, but it's different in Japan. Usually, they ask a lot of questions before the first round meeting. So that's why you need to be well prepared when you start to uh, lead generation activities here. Because if you don't have important information in some documents in Japanese, you need to spend a lot of time to prepare the documents in Japanese. So it wouldn't be in a timely manner. So then after the first round meetings, uh, Japanese company needs a lot of internal negotiation because the decision-making system here is a sort of consensus base. It's different from bottom-up or top-down. So everybody needs to agree with the idea, especially about the very important decision like replacing the current supplier with new ones. It takes a lot of time. However, in implementation, in open and flexible country, there are a lot of going back and going forward. Sometimes they ignore what they agreed. They ignore sometimes contracts. But in Japan, it goes smoothly. So you need to understand. You have to be very well prepared when you start uh, contacting your Japanese companies or generating leads here. And once you get the leads, this is a way how to nurture leads to our prospect and finally a customer. Sending email, newsletter, or those things are very common, and also seminar, webinar would be good. if your products are very innovative or technical. And exhibiting at a trade show could be a good option, especially in the case you can't send a product sample for a big size products. And usually, uh, trade show is not a good option to uh, develop new rates because, for example, when you operate a booth at trade show, you get 100 business cards, and you will send following up emails to 100. Probably 3, 4, 5 would reply. So it, it's not a good way to get the immediate response. However, you can invite your contacts or leads to your booth at a trade show. It usually works well for establishing a good relationship, personal relationship with those leads. And this is the most important part. We usually recommend you come to Japan at least twice a year to visit the Japanese customers and also prospects together with our staff. So sometimes there's no clear agenda that you need to discuss. However, we recommend you should visit the Japanese customer. Probably there's no important agenda, but your visit shows your commitment to Japan. So it's very important. If you keep visiting the same potential customer two, 2 times, 3 times, 4 times, probably they change their mind. So it sounds not rational or logical, but this is very important when you try to develop your Japanese customer. And now I'm explaining some case studies with digital marketing. The first one is machine tool manufacturers. They are manufacturing and selling a small machine tool, which is attached on some production equipment in the factory, which means their target factories are too many, maybe over 100,000 all over Japan. So in this case, the price of machine tool is very cheap, and the unit price was maybe 40 to 50 US dollar to 100 US dollar, very cheap. So in this case, usually in Japan, manufacturer or the sole distributor doesn't directly sell to factories. So you can find this kind of multi-layers when you try to sell low price products like machine tools or I don't know, some parts like spring, nuts, or those things. Usually regional distributors, local dealers. Local dealers are usually small, and local retailers. Usually it's a family-owned small company based very near the big factory. So when you do push marketing in this supply chain structure, it takes a lot of time to penetrate the market. So that's why we immediately recommended the online marketing or digital marketing to our client. And so this guy, sole distributor, agrees to set up a landing page with their budget. Yes, the client was lucky. And we arranged the Google Ads. And then what happened is many factories made an inquiry to sole distributor. And then they distributed the products through multi-layers. So because if they already had the secure leads, they are very supportive to distribute to the next layer. So this is our solution when you encountered multi-layer in the distribution channel in Japan. The second case is mechanical components. Yes, they already had a big one customer in Japan, but they had no idea how to develop other big customers. And this is what we did. In some industries, like automotive or construction machinery, big OEM has a sort of group distributor. For example, Toyota has Toyota Tsusho. And they say Toyota Tsusho is the distributor, but the reality is their functionality is like very similar with a purchasing agent. So they are working on this side. So in this case, we developed new distributors additionally, but the purchasing agent is not very proactive to promote some particular products. That's why uh, our client set up a Japanese landing page in their original website. And they didn't spend the money on ads. However, their brand name is somewhat famous also in Japan, in a very narrow sector. And many Japanese customers enter the brand name on Google, and this landing page is shown up. And customers made an inquiry, and distributor promote to purchasing agent, then made a deal. So in this case, we utilize the digital marketing for generating leads directly from OEMs of automotive or construction machinery, and then responded through distributors and purchasing agent. And case three is mechanical parts. So this client was frustrated with the performance of the local partner who purchased client products and integrated in their production equipment for some types of plant like food, chemical, or metal. And their products are used for a sort of risk management or anti-explosion. And what we did for this case is also we tried to develop integrators. However, this type of integrators are too many in Japan. So we cannot develop one by one. So that's why we set up a landing page by ourselves and started digital marketing. And we get some inquiries, especially in the case there was some TV news or paper news about explosion. Just after the explosion happened, we received a lot of inquiries. So sometimes online marketing can be used in that way. So this is our conclusion. Uh, we recommend small start. So in the past, when you spend a lot of money on advertising on TV, for example, or a big booth at the trade show, you need to spend time for planning because you can't make any mistakes when you spend $1 million for TV campaign. At the time, the planning was very important. However, in the digital marketing, you can set up your Japanese website maybe with less than 2,000 euros. Then you can advertise on Google like a few hundred euros or US dollar per month. So that's why if you have an idea, I recommend you do the test marketing. Then you can make some plan based on the market response and do it again, adjustment. So I recommend this kind of agile process. So spending a lot of time on planning stage is a sort of a waste of time. And this is our recommended approach when we work for our clients. mainly from North America and Europe. We assign business development manager and marketing staff, and our clients usually prefer starting with part-time basis, small start. And our monthly fee is roughly 5,000 US dollar per month. I believe it's reasonable. And the actual cost of developing a small website in Japanese and some ads would be like this. It's also several thousand US dollar a year. So, and you can find process with research for market overview and digital competition. Again, we input the relevant Japanese keywords on Google and analyze the Google search result. And probably you can find what kind of keywords you need to set in your SEM or SEO campaign. And we usually require product training at the beginning of project. And we translate your marketing material into Japanese. At the same time, develop your small Japanese website. It takes just a month and requires, again, less than 2,000 US dollar. And start SEM campaign, a few $100 per month, and registering to some online media and following up leads. At the same time, we do some cold call, email campaign, or visiting booth at trade show. And finally, after 6 months, 8 months, 10 months, depending on the project, but finally, we can provide you there some strategy and also business plan. This is our recommended approach of your lead generation activity mainly through digital marketing in Japan. So in this final slide, I'd like to explain our whole service. As Satoshi explained, we are not a normal consulting firm, but we are happy to provide market research if you need, and we can give you some advice how to choose your market entry mode as a consulting firm. But most of our clients are interested in business matching with potential distributors. In some cases, they've already had one or two distributors here, but they like to add more for covering some untapped sectors. Sometimes we work on this kind of business matching with potential partners, distributors at the you are exploring opportunities. But most of our clients are interested in business development, including lead generation and digital marketing. And in this case, we usually represent our clients as a sales rep in Japan. So our role is like a virtual Japan subsidiary. So we carry our client's name card and visit customers at the same time. We work on lead generation and following up those leads to convert to prospects and customers. And some of our clients have been successful and they've been to their next step, investment. In this case, they set up their own subsidiary at our office address and hire a few local talents. Of course, we take care of such kind of recruitment activities. And also, we take care of administration support because at this stage, for your small Japan team, it doesn't make sense to hire an administration manager. So that's why you can outsource such energy consuming or boring administrative things to our office. So at this stage, we are happy to help you to be successful in Japan. So thank you for your participation to our webinar today, and I hope you got some insights how to start your digital marketing activities in Japan. Thank you very much.
Okay, thank you very much, Yasushi, for your presentation. And during your presentation, we got some questions. And maybe you can also check the Q&A
Okay.
panel. And we got three questions. And first two questions were about AI, the impact of AI. And the first question was, what impact is AI having on Google search in Japan? And of course, Japan, no, 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 AI has been huge impact in the, digital marketing and in Japan as well. But I don't know the logic of the impact of AI on Google search, or have you ever heard of anything about this?
Okay, I think it's related with the SEO. Nowadays, uh, people enter some keywords on AI as well, like into Google. So when you enter some keywords on ChatGPT, if your companies are shown in the result, you may have a chance to get the inquiry from that person. So this logic can be used in SEO, or I don't know, the term SEO is appropriate for the case, but some service provider help you to be shown in the advice from AI with related keywords. However, it's also similar with SEO on Google because there's no clear logic, the important logic in the black box. So I don't recommend you spend the time and the money for AI at the beginning of test marketing. SEM can be controlled in terms of budget and response, and you can adjust the expressions of ads as well. So I recommend you start with SEM. Then you can consider a lot of things like SEO, including AI. And also AI can be used for lead generation on LinkedIn. I think there are a lot of robotics approach, but unfortunately, most Japanese customers don't have account on LinkedIn. So the way of using AI is not appropriate for the Japanese market.
Thank you very much. And the second question was also about AI, and I think you have already answered how about AI, which might be the increasing become source of information for people
Yeah,
today.
yeah.
And yes, yes, you have answered. And the next question is, this is also interesting question. Is it necessary to have a distributor or representative in Japan? Isn't it possible to conduct B2B business directly from Europe with Japanese companies? And my answer was that it would be quite difficult to do the business in Japan without Japanese distributor or representative, because Japanese customers want a supplier to visit them immediately in case of any technical questions or in case of the quality issues. The customers want supplier to come immediately. So
Yeah, yeah.
what do you think?
Yes, I can explain some exceptional cases. For example, IHI, Heavy Industrial Machinery, has a purchasing office in London. They may contact you to
Mm.
purchase your product, but it's a passive way for you. So if you proactively want to develop the market, definitely you need to have someone in Japan.
Yeah. Okay, thank you very much. And next question is about LinkedIn. Is LinkedIn used in Japan, and for what reasons? What do you think
Okay.
about
Um,
LinkedIn in Japan?
I think most of Japanese don't have an account on LinkedIn,
Mm,
but some English speakers or people working for a foreign company have an
mm,
account. So if your target audience are English speaking guys, LinkedIn can be used. That's it.
mm.
So
Yeah, I agree with you. Even in case of Japanese company, some people use LinkedIn, but he is for example, the salesperson in charge of the overseas market.
yes,
In that case, I think he might be using LinkedIn, but the people who work only in Japan, maybe they don't use LinkedIn.
yes.
Yeah,
If your
that's my
targets
impression.
are, you know, MBA holders working at the Procter and Gamble, yeah, you can use LinkedIn or, global business development manager at Sony. Yes, you can use LinkedIn. But if your
Mm.
targets are normal people, like engineers, they never have an account on LinkedIn.
Okay. Oh, yeah. And then we got two additional questions which are both similar. Okay, I read now. Is there an alternative to LinkedIn or a professional social network in
Uh,
Japan? As far as I know, no,
no.
doesn't
Um,
exist,
okay, let me
unfortunately.
explain. LinkedIn seems too open for the most of Japanese business people because you upload CV on SNS. It seems super dangerous for risk-averse people like Japanese. So
Yeah, like Japanese.
yeah,
Yes.
yeah, yeah. That's why there's no alternative for professional network.
Yeah, I agree. Okay, thank you very much. And I think we have answered all the questions. We got one more question. Oh, thank you for your answers. Okay. Yeah. Another question. Is Facebook a good platform for brand awareness?
For consumer products, it could be right, but
Mm.
for business, uh, actually, I did some small tests in the past, but the result was like a disaster, so I don't recommend that.
Yeah, I agree with you. Yeah, for the B2B, maybe not so popular to use that, using the Facebook. Okay, thank you very much. And is is there any other additional question? If no, it's actually already time to close the webinar. Or if you have any additional question, please feel free to send an email to Yasushi. Then I've already typed Yasushi's email address on the chat box. So now, so it's time. So again, thank you very much for your time to join our webinar, and please feel free to send an email, any questions, and we are very much looking forward to receiving your message and answer to your questions and working with you to develop your business in Japanese market. So thank you very much once again. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Have a great day. Bye.
Thank you. Bye bye. Thank you.